Today, a clinical evidence review. Is creatine worth trying for brain health? A patient asks whether creatine, yes, the gym supplement, might help their cognition or mood. It's a question clinicians are increasingly hearing. What does the evidence actually show, and where are the gaps? Creatine is a small molecule made in the liver and kidneys from amino acid precursors. We also get it from meat and vegetables. Most of the body's creatine is stored in muscle cells as phosphocreatine, a phosphate reservoir that regenerates ATP during high-demand activity. It's why creatine is popular in sports. More ATP means more short-burst power. The brain isn't just a passive consumer of circulating creatine. Glial cells synthesize creatine locally using an enzyme called GAMT, guanidinoacetate methyltransferase. This is a separate pathway from how muscles get their creatine. And the brain has its own creatine transporter, the CRT protein, encoded by the gene SLC6A8. And the CRT transporter gene has mutations. The result is CRT deficiency syndrome, a rare but devastating condition. Patients develop intellectual disability, seizures, and movement disorders. Brain imaging shows critically low creatine levels. The key point: there is no treatment. Studying this genetic condition gives us a window into how important the creatine system is for the brain, even if most patients will never have this specific disorder. Here is what we do know from small human studies. Oral creatine monohydrate does cross the blood-brain barrier and raise brain creatine levels, but less dramatically than it raises muscle levels. A few studies using MRS brain imaging have confirmed this, so supplementing is not irrelevant to the brain. The question is what functional effect that increase produces. Most compelling brain-specific data comes from a 2026 double-blind crossover study published in Nutrients. 29 healthy adults were kept awake for 32 hours, then given a single dose of 0.2 grams per kilogram of creatine monohydrate. The result: about a 12% reduction in cognitive deterioration from sleep deprivation. For a 150-pound adult, that's roughly 14 grams. The effect was measurable after a single dose. A 2022 review in Nutrients noted potential benefit for mood, cognition, and sleep in healthy adults, with more noticeable effects in women, possibly because they start with lower baseline creatine. The same review suggested creatine might help with traumatic brain injury and concussion symptoms. A 2025 pilot trial in 20 Alzheimer patients, 20 grams daily for 8 weeks, showed modest cognitive improvements and increased brain creatine on imaging. But there was no placebo group, so the true effect size is unclear. Now the important counterpoint. A 2026 critical review in the Journal of Dietary Supplements asked a direct question. Have we put the cart before the horse? The answer from the authors: the evidence for brain health in healthy people and for dementia prevention is not solid. We have no long-term safety data at brain-specific doses, and there are no established dietary reference intakes for creatine in this context. The research gaps are real. So what is the honest take-home for a clinician? Creatine is not an FDA-approved treatment for any brain health indication. It is a dietary supplement, not a medication. The most consistent positive signal is short-term, especially for sleep-deprived cognition. There is a preliminary signal for concussion and possibly for Alzheimer progression, but the data are too early and too small to be confident. The evidence is not there yet for a strong recommendation, but it is intriguing enough that informed patients and clinicians can reasonably discuss it. For questions or episode ideas, drop them below and subscribe for more psychopharmacology breakdowns. Educational purposes only, not a substitute for clinical judgment.